Happy holidays and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Mandi Sarro. If you're new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're a Throwdown Lover OG, I'm excited to have you here. Today's video is all about me doing a nice little recap on how my 2022 has been like. I love these kind of videos, by the way. Not new to this, been true to this. I've even invited my girls to share things that they've learned as well. And I mean, this year has been interesting. I dropped my first physical cookbook, which is a high, and of course, what is life without lows? So there's been plenty of those as well. Like I said, this is gonna be a nice little recap video of things that I've learned. All you gotta do is sit back, relax. If you're new here, please subscribe, and give this video a thumbs up. By the time we get to the end of this video, if you love the lessons that I've shared from the L's that I've experienced in 2022. This video is brought to you in partnership with Lemonade Finance, an app many of my friends and family use to send money to the 254 Kenya baby. Now, with the Lemonade Finance app, an app that's easy to use, by the way, let me tell you something. Kenyans in the UK, United States, and Canada can instantly send money to Kenya. The best part is this: it has zero fees, it's instant, best rates, and customer service need. You can easily download the app with the referral link in my description box below, and you can get yourself £10 cash back with your first transaction above £100. You can type in the code if you've downloaded the app from the App Store, of course. To my kiddos, send something. Send money home instantly and at zero fees with Lemonade Finance. In 2021, your girl had already quit her job, was working for herself, and I was trying to figure it out. And along the way, I decided to apply for YouTube Black because the ads keep popping up, and I think on the last day I applied and I got in. But by the time I was getting into 2021, and I shared this in the video where I was like, I went on a break to just think things through before I was going to elevate Mandi Sarro into a media house, was I really needed to have a mindset shift. So as I was going into 2021, already the mindset shift had already started to happen, and then I applied for YouTube Black, I get in, and then 2022 is like, whoa, beyond spectacular. Being part of YouTube Black, the classes, the meeting of other African creators, just the whole program has been beyond fantastic. And a lot of those experiences played part in, the content creation that I've done, or the things that I've adjusted with as I've gone through this year. This year I started with you guys with a nice little intro video so that people can get to know who I am. And now here we are at the end of the year. I've done a new series, which is Banter in the Kitchen, and I think that's some of my favorite work. I also think dropping my cookbook, oh my god, some of my extreme favorite work. But like I mentioned earlier, life is all about balance, where there's the highs, there's the lows. One thing that I learned this year was being a creative, being a business owner is being decisive. You cannot be out here second guessing yourself, and you need to be a leader. You need to be decisive, you need to trust your idea, you need to trust your team, you need to trust where you're going. You need to trust the fact that you need to be agile, because things are gonna come along the way. You need to trust your intuition. You need to trust your creativity. And for me, being able to lean to that and have a team to be able to execute has really helped me, because it's allowed me to also be a good listener. Because you're on a team, everybody has ideas, everybody has feedback to give. You don't really need to be speaking. You can just be seated there and actually be a good listener. So those two things paired up together, oh my god, it's been magical. Being decisive with where we're going with the direction, or this is the final price, or this is how I want the brand to look like, is very important. It's a key element that you cannot skip on when you are an entrepreneur, especially a creativepreneur. The other thing that I would say, you don't have to listen to the noise that we're especially consuming on social media. One thing that I've done this year is done a social media audit about every 3 to 4 months or 4 to 6 months, I've done a social media audit. There's things that you can read on your timeline or you can see on your timeline that trigger you. And these things that come to the timeline are either brought by you because you followed somebody, or somebody retweeted those things or reposted, reshared them on stories, reshared them on TikTok, and they trigger you. So by social media audit, the one thing that I feel like more people need to be doing, because I was like applying that this year, is if I feel uninspired by you, if I feel like your tweets trigger me, I am unfollowing. Because we talk about our mental health so much, but we fail to realize like how we can just feel the need to follow somebody because we've known them for like 20 plus years, so we must follow them. Yet when we follow them, they trigger us based on the things that they share. So I think a social media audit is something like I highly recommend more people to do, because I am doing it often. I'm applying it. So maybe 6 months ago you posted something that triggered me, or something I just didn't like. I was like, oh, you're in a different space in your life. I'm following. Doesn't mean like 6 months later I wouldn't come back and follow you if I just see a shift and change. You gotta give people grace that they'll change. I'm not saying that you follow someone today, 6 months later you're unfollowing them. Like, just be careful about the digital consumption you're doing, because social media can really trigger you, and your mental health is much more important than being triggered. Just saying. The digital world is moving pretty fast, and you gotta stay agile. You gotta stay open to failing forward, open to trying new ideas, taking new risks. Mainly because what was popping yesterday is not popping today. It all changed because it was a dance that was done and everybody's feeling it. It's because a YouTube short was trending and every single person wants to make that recipe. So you gotta be able to quickly adapt to what's happening in the digital world. Our creative space is booming. There's so many platforms now, and everybody can be a superstar now. I love it for us. However, you as a person, as a brand, or whatever it is that you're building, just remember to stay agile, take risks, fail forward. Don't be afraid if you put up a video and it doesn't do well. Just kubali ndio matokeo ya digital transformation hakuna shida. Just say. Because this year there's been a lot of new things that I tried, cooking a lot of African food with the Instant Pot, with the air fryer is definitely something that I was willing to fail forward with. If a recipe backfired. If it did well, it did well. The other thing was realizing, like, my food videos, you guys also like when I'm chatty and hanging out with other people in the kitchen, so I started a new series. Again, I'm all about failing forward. I think there's much more to learn when you try something and you fail, as opposed to just staying in that comfort zone. Nothing thrives from there, so we ain't doing that. Going even in 2023, more gas. We are not thriving from like a comfort space. That's not happening. I want to say one thing that I loved learning this year was work on your reaction. Work on your reaction. Working on your reaction can save you on so much. Let me take it from the top. Apart from the fact that I was part of YouTube Black class, I also got a business coach, and there was a day I was having a session with my business coach, and I love her. She's such a great accountability partner. She asked me, so what if people have so much to say about you? So what? What does that change about you? What I really loved about being asked that was, you have to confront this part where you're comfortable and you know who you are. And whatever another person thinks of what you are is their opinion. They're entitled to it. But you don't have to consume it as that's who you are, because you know who you are. Social media has a way of blessing your career where it really blossoms, but it also has parts where you can go viral. You can, get picked on. You can be the center of attention. You can also participate in that. So there's elements of how things have evolved along the way from when I started my journey on the internet. Like most of us, we just started because we're like, oh, we're creating on a platform, and then along the way we're like, oh my god, we're building brands. Oh my god. And then there's like mistakes you make along the way that follow you, which because You are human. Everybody makes mistakes. The most important thing is being accountable to those mistakes and being accountable to your own change. You know, I've been working towards getting more and more comfortable as I get older, to being comfortable in my skin. And I realized, like, nothing somebody says about me anymore phases me. That's their opinion. They can feel the way, whatever way they're feeling. As long as I know who I am, nothing can deter me. As long as I know I am consistently working on my mistakes and working towards being accountable to all of my actions consistently in my life, no one is going to make me feel guilty for making mistakes. You are a human being. And to pair it up, one of my favorite like Twitter writers said sometimes some people just have like main character energy, where, you know, you have to be open that there's some people who just talk about you. You're just minding your business, doing your thing, and there's people who will talk about you. And again, there's nothing you can say or do to shift their mindset. All you can do is just work on yourself and keep pouring into yourself. That's the most important person in that equation. Everyone is a villain in another person's story. But the good thing is, as long as you're the villain and you're working on yourself, you remember that everybody's a human being and they make mistakes. That's the beautiful thing. Now, one of the audits that I really believe that has kind of helped me this year is habits audit. And you know how you can have certain behaviors or certain habits that hinder you from like really growing or taking yourself to the next level. I think it's important to sit back and be like, I shouldn't be on this app for this many hours. Do an audit of your habits, or the exercise you should be doing is not enough. I've been failing in that department. Let me call myself out. Or even sometimes spending a lot of time on certain platforms, I'll call myself out. This year I've had to reflect on just being even a better friend to my friends. If you care about yourself and you know your love languages, you want to give that to other people. It doesn't really have to extend to just friends, but like family, just lovers, someone you're into, whatever, can go to all those places. But I'm glad I've called myself into a meeting and I've called myself out. So hoping to definitely do better in 2023. Another habit that I love, the fact that I'm just like done with. I mean, if I needed to be petty, I could go back into it, but done with is like clapping back. Man, I feel like when I started to create content, you know, you're just like, I'm just creating, I'm just posting. And then along the way, you start being held as an important person to society. You know what I mean? And some of the things that you used to do when you were just like, you can't do as you get older because more is expected of you. Fine, you're human and you'll make mistakes, but you're even growing a business. There's people who look up to you. There's like your team. So there's certain habits you need to let go of if you're definitely going to try and reach the pinnacle of success. Man, clapping back used to be my weakness. Yo, it would be a bad habit. I used to be in it. I was in that bag. And I'm just glad to have learned that, because we're not fumbling bags in 2022 or 2023. Have you seen outside? Outside is expensive. Outside is always expensive. You can't be fumbling bags. If poverty is the enemy, then clapping back must be counterproductive, right? Because you will be fumbling the bag, and we are not doing that. I like soft life. So yeah, just doing a behavior or habit audit has been really instrumental for me this year to really check myself, have checkpoints where I check myself like, girl, why you doing that? Why you doing that? Ooh, you doing that? I like that. Yeah, so I like it for me. I want to say thank you guys so much for being part of my journey. From the minute I started my first YouTube video to now, for those of you who have just been joining the journey along the way, thank you for coming on this ride. It means a lot to me. This platform has completely changed my life. I have connected with you, which is the most amazing thing. I love the fact that I've been in your home through a recipe, through a tip, through my cookbook, through my products. So it's been amazing to be on this journey with you guys. We started 2022 on a high, so we're ending 2022 on a high as well. I am excited to go take a break. break, because when I come back in 2023 nataka kuwaletea mchuzi kwanza kwa wingi. It's the salsa, a lot of it. And before I love and leave you, I want to love and leave you by saying, as you go into 2023, normalize speaking highly about yourself. If you're good at something, normalize saying, I'm good, I can create this, I can do this. Normalize that, because there's nobody else who's going to do it for you. And honestly, the best cheerleader is always going to be yourself for you, because you gotta pour back into that cup. In the meantime, as I'm taking my break, you can be able to still purchase my cookbook. The link is in the description box below. If you want the physical copy, if you want it nice and soft in your email, it can come through as well. If you're trying to keep up with what I am doing across other platforms, check out the links in the description box below as well. Until 2023, thank you for your love, for your patience, for your feedback, and if you're looking for something to eat this Christmas, there's plenty of recipes on my channel. All you gotta do is just go through playlists. I got you. I'm your throwdown queen. Stay eating delicious.